What's up, guys? I'm Travis, and you're watching another great episode of Upgraded RC. Come on! Come on! So in today's video, we're going to be installing some of these Incision hardened steel universal style drive shafts made by Vanquish products. Well, a couple months ago, I reached out to the guys at Vanquish products. I asked if they had any upgraded drive shafts that would fit the Phoenix. And at the time they told me no, but then they got back with me and told me that after some research, they found out that the drive shafts from the SCX-10 and the SCX-10-2 should fit this Phoenix. So today that's what we're going to do. We're going to throw these in there, see how well they fit, and we're also going to do some comparisons between these and the stock plastic ones. Now, I can tell you right now by holding these are quite a bit heavier than the plastic ones. These are hardened steel. I'm going to throw these on the scale for you guys today, and we're going to find out exactly how much heavier they are, and we're also going to go over some of the pros and cons of these drive shafts. So stay tuned. All right, guys, let's start this video off by giving you all the technical data and specification on these drive shafts to see if it's going to fit your application. Because I know some of you guys are going to use these drive shafts on other vehicles, and like me on this Phoenix, I've extended the wheelbase already, so it sure would be useful information to know the extended and compressed lengths of these drive shafts, as well as other technical data to see if it will fit your application. Now, to do this quickly and easily and make sure I don't screw up no numbers, I went ahead and looked up these drive shafts on Vanquish's website, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my tablet here, guys, and I'm just going to read off their specifications right from their website so that we get everything correct. Now, these are universal style drive shafts. They're made of hardened steel construction, which is way better than the aluminum. They're not going to get bent up or anything else. And I really do like the weight of the hardened steel. Going to give us a little bit more weight down low and help us out with some traction. They are using the same 4mm set pins to attach your drive shafts that you're using already on your Phoenix. And guess what? They give you 4 extra ones. So that's a great deal. You can never complain about that. Now, these splines are timed and allowed for the drive shafts to be phased in place, which I'll explain to you. And we are going to phase these out so there's very little vibration or wobble or anything going on whatsoever. Now, these scale joints and spline diameter are sized for realistic appearance, which I think they look great. You know, it's going to be way better than that plastic look. You've got the heavy metal look there. They're black. They're going to be awesome for sure. Now, this is what you guys are going to want to know. The front compressed length of these is 3.45 inches. The front extended length is 4.65 inches. And they're leaving you a ½ inch of play so that your spline does not get ripped out of the drive shaft. Now, on the rear, they are saying that the compressed length is 3.8 inches and the extended length is 5.0, exactly 5 inches. And once again, they are leaving you that ½ inch of clearance so that you don't pull the spline out of the drive shaft. Now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to rip this cover off, and I'm going to show you how to get to these. Once I get the plastic ones out, we'll go ahead and throw them on the scale as well as these. We'll do a little bit of comparison, and then we'll put them back in. So let's get after it. And by the way, guys, for everybody that's interested here, the part number on these are IRC00220, and it says right here they fit the SCX-10-2 RTR, which is ready to run, and also the SCX-10. The going rate for these right now is $65.99 US. Okay, guys, now I'm sure there's plenty of ways to do this, and if you look right here behind this servo, there's a very small window here. If you turn your drive shaft just right, you can see the set pin in there. And I'm sure you could probably get an Allen in there to take that set pin out and then put your drive shaft on and put the set pin back in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove 3 Allens here that are holding your servo mount on, which is this one, and this one. And then we're also going to take this Allen out right here, which connects the shaft to your transmission for shifting. After I do that, we'll be able to take this servo and the whole mount plate and just kind of flop it over to the side so that we can physically see the entire drive shaft. That way, when I'm putting it on, I can see how well the fitment is, if anything's going to rub. I really want to be able to open it up and see what's going on in there, as well as I'm going to go ahead and clean around the drive shaft and stuff too. So we're going to go ahead and do that first. Now, for the rear one, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove your battery. And like I said, there's other ways you could probably do this. I noticed there is a very small window right here, but it does not show you the set screw on the drive shaft. I thought about taking and drilling a hole here so I could get to it easily, but let's just do it right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and remove these 2 Allens here, these 2 Allens here, and these 4 Allens in the back, as well as taking off the connection here for your shaft that connects for your dig to your transmission. That way we can get it all off, and once again, I can see the fitment, I can clean it up a little bit, and we can make sure we're doing it right. So let's go ahead and get that off, and when we do, we'll just flop that over, same as the front, and we should be good to go. Okay guys, that was pretty simple. It took me about 3 minutes to get rid of the battery tray and both of the servo mounts so that we could expose our drive shafts. Now this is what we're after right here, is that 4mm set pin and also the one in the back. And we'll go ahead and remove these, and then we're going to remove the 2 set pins from both of the axles, front and rear. We'll get them out, we'll clean everything up, I'm going to weigh them, and we'll do some comparisons. Just like that. Now, I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but when I was pulling the front drive shaft off, it clearly shows one of these shims falling out of place. Please do not forget to put these back in. They are very important to keep the correct backlash on your ring and pinion gear inside of your axle. So when you're putting your drive shaft back on, these shims right here go on your shaft first that is coming out of the axle, your pinion shaft, so to speak, your yoke, and then you will go ahead and put the drive shaft on after that. Do not forget this. This is very, very important. Okay, now it's time to go ahead and open up our package here and see what we got in here. Let's see. I know what we got. I can physically see in the package, but we have our front drive shaft. We have our rear drive shaft. And there are the 4 extra pins I told you that came with. What a bonus right there, guys. Okay, you can see these are good, great quality construction. The spline slides right out, no problem. They are definitely quite a bit heavier than the other ones. Let's go ahead and get them on the scale and see what these actually weigh. Okay, so we've made our way over to our trusty scale here. Let's go ahead and weigh the old drive shafts first, the stock ones, and we're going to weigh them both at the same time because that's kind of how I want to do it. I want to see what the total weight difference is. Now these are coming in at 62.3 grams. Okay, let's go ahead and see what the new ones are going to weigh. Here is the heavy Incision Vanquish drive shafts. There you go, 92.3. So that is pretty much exactly 30 grams difference. That's going to really help us out on the trail for traction. Let's do that again one more time. I just want to make sure our trusty scale is trusty. 62.3 and 92.2. So yeah, pretty much right at 30 grams, guys. All right, guys. Well, now that we know our Incision drive shafts are exactly 30 grams heavier than the stock plastic ones, that is awesome. That is going to give us more low-end weight and traction to our tires, like I said. Now what I have done here is I went ahead and put both the front drive shafts together and both the rear drive shafts together so that we can get a comparison on length. And look at this, the Incision drive shafts are exactly a 1/4 inch shorter than the stock plastic ones. That's great. That confirms that our stock Phoenix wheelbase will fit these Incision drive shafts with no problem at all. Now, I told you guys I have stretched my wheelbase out 3/8 of an inch. So guess what? Look at all the extra play we have on the spline to accommodate for a longer wheelbase. Look at this. It just keeps going. That is amazing how much further we can get out of these. So these are going to fit most applications, guys. I don't feel bad about that at all. Now, looking at the inlet here, which is going to attach to your axle in your transmission, they are exactly the same size, and once again, these are all metal construction. Now, I have no problem with these plastic drive shafts, guys. Okay, don't get me wrong. These have been around for a long time. I've got the same ones on my SEX 10.3, and don't quote me on this. I believe these are called wild bore style drive shafts or universals on the end here, whereas they're using the CV here on the Incision, which looks so much more realistic. And in my opinion, I believe that they're going to work a little bit better. Okay, now besides that, guys, what I want you to notice here is that they're also, the Incision are a little bit thinner than the stock plastic ones. And right here, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but you can see my plastic drive shaft has been rubbing on my control arm under extreme angle articulation. So right here, these being thinner, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get rid of this or at least have a lot less. Now, I had talked to you guys about phasing and how important it is. Now, what is phasing? Phasing is when you push your drive shafts together in a sequence so that there is no wobble or no vibration out of these. And I know this is just an RC car and we're not really getting too much speed out of it, so wobble shouldn't be too much of an issue as well as the vibration. But let's do it right anyway, okay? This is what you would do on a normal vehicle, full size, to reduce the vibrations, and we're gonna do it on here as well. I did it on the stock Phoenix plastic drive shafts here as well. Can you see these little tick marks right here? There's one here and one here. So in the manual, it did mention something about phasing, that when you put your drive shafts together, these two tick marks should be the same to create your phasing there. So what we're going to do on the Incision ones to create phasing, and what's really important here is looking at the ear on the drive shaft. See how this ear is set up here? Now this one does not match here. These are not in phase right now. So what you're going to want to do is pull this out and go ahead and put it back in phase. Wow, guys, that is really precision made. That's almost difficult to get back in there. But there you go. Now these are in phase. This ear here matches this ear here. So now we have no vibration, no wobble. They're in phase. It gives the realistic look. And I got to tell you guys, I just think this looks so realistic and so awesome. And they got their little Incision logo on there. I can't see any problems with these whatsoever. This is just going to be a great upgrade for our Phoenix. So let's go ahead. I'm going to clean up my transmission and my axles, and we'll go ahead and throw these drive shafts on. Now make sure when you're putting these together, guys, don't forget that little tiny shim right there that may have fallen off when you took it apart. If it's already on there, you're good to go. But if it fell off, find it and make sure that is on there. That is so important. Okay, now after we get our shim on there, make sure that your drive shafts are phased. Remember, we talked about that. And then go ahead and just slip it right onto that yoke. Now guys, I am using the brand new set pins that it came with, and a little trick here, I would also recommend go ahead and put some blue Loctite on there. You do not want this to come out when you're on the trail. These pins are so small you'd have a very difficult time trying to find it. So let's go ahead and stick that in there now. Get this lined up here. Of course, it's not going to line up right away. Take just a second here to get it in there. There we go. Go ahead and tighten that down snug. We're going to wipe our little bit of excess Loctite off here so it's not slinging around everywhere. And make sure it's tight. Okay guys, so we have phased our drive shafts so they're in time. We have made sure that our shim's on there, and we have added Loctite to the set pins. Now one thing you guys might want to know, a little helpful piece of information here, if you use Loctite on anything, which I recommend that you do, it takes 24 hours for the Loctite to set up and be tight. If you don't give it 24 hours for that to set in, you might as well go ahead and not put it on at all, okay? So there you go. We're all phased, got the pin in, got everything set up. Looks great. Wow, I love that little Incision logo on there. That looks really good, guys. So there you go. That's what it looks like. Let's go ahead and put the rest of it together and go check it out. Well, guys, we got it all buttoned up and back together. I've got to say that the realistic look you're getting out of these drive shafts is amazing. And I was correct about the front drive shaft having more clearance against the control arm there. I'm confident it's not going to rub at all. There's a lot of clearance there. Well, guys, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this video. The only thing I got left to do is go out there and test it and have some fun. I'm going to take these out there with me to the new course I'm setting up, and we're going to have a great day. It's nice and warm here today, which is a little bit unusual for what we've had in the last couple of weeks. I'm going to take advantage of it. Guys, once again, I am Travis. You're watching Upgraded RC. If you guys have any questions or anything, please don't hesitate to comment down below. I will get back with you as soon as I can. It may not be right away, but I promise I will get back with you. Other than that, guys, go have fun. Take yours out. Go do whatever you need to do to put a smile on your face. I'm Travis. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.